this is a call. This is my plead. This is my push for you. This is my fiery message to remind you that you gotta get going. You gotta do this because life is blowing by. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. It's so great to have you here. This week is just going to be about a simple message, but a powerful one. And look, I am an empowerment coach just as much as I am an embodiment coach. So I can't not weave this in, come in hot as a coach sometimes for you guys, because listen, there is a reason you need to be getting up off your ass every day earlier. Get up out of bed earlier than you are. And I want to tell you my story on how I became a morning person, but most importantly, why I needed to flip that story in my mind. Because I didn't want to think about where I would have continued to be in my life if I didn't carve out time for me in the morning to focus on my dreams and my goals, to focus on my aspirations. And I hope that when you hear my personal story, you'll feel inspired too, to recognize some of my story in you and to actually see that it's possible and to use me as an example that, yeah, I can be someone that actually transforms my own life. It can be up to me and it is up to me, and I can do this for myself because it's so important that you hear this message today, because there's something inside of you that wants to come out. There's something inside of you that wants to keep going. And I know it's hard sometimes. It's really hard to keep going. It's really hard. You feel the struggle. You shed the tears. You're having conversations with Source and God when no one's around. I know that you're feeling that inside. I know that sometimes it's a struggle just to keep going. And you compare yourself sometimes. And I know it's really hard to not compare. And you're doing all the things. And then sometimes you stop doing all the transformational work. You stop doing all the tools because, well, you just let the old pattern win. And then you feel like guilt because sometimes you just recognize the old pattern is won yet again. And I got to start over. And it just feels like you're in this loop. I see you and I hear you. And please know I've been there. Please know I've been there and I've survived it. And I'm out on the other side, standing here in declaration, standing here representing what is for you too. You got to keep going. You've got to keep going. But some of you, you're sabotaging it. And I want to show you one of the easiest ways. I want to tell you my story of one of the easiest mental tricks you can do here to bring yourself to a level where you're no longer giving yourself the out. You're no longer letting yourself just lie there in bed, letting the world happen to you. So this is a call. This is my plead. This is my push for you. This is my fiery message to remind you that you gotta get going. You gotta do this because life is blowing by. Yeah, maybe we're in a state of flow most of the time, but we can't get more time. That's for sure. Every day is a step forward toward the end of your life. And I don't mean to come in and be all doom and gloom. I'm not. I'm coming in a spirit though of reminding you. Death is a powerful reminder to get your ass in gear today. And I don't mean get your ass in gear as in to quickly have FOMO and anxiety and do all the things. You got to know how to do the right things. You got to know how to find discernment. You got to feel into the energy of who you are and what's important to you. And guess what? This gets to be fun work. Guess what? On your way to knowing all of that and taking action on all of that, this gets to be fun work. This gets to be the coolest thing you ever get to feel in your life. This gets to be you finding you finally. This gets to be you in contact with you, the most authentic you, not the person that everyone else will have you be. You know that person. You know her well. You know them well. You're done with that. Now it's time to find you. Who are you? Who are you? So one of the big excuses I hear all the time is finding time to find you. Yeah, Kim, that sounds great. I want to find me. I want to do all of that, but I just don't have time. So sometimes it's a prioritization thing, and sometimes it's just a matter of you got to get your ass out of bed earlier. So I want to take you on my story here real quick. And today's podcast won't be too long, but it's going to be just enough for you to get the importance of this, okay? So some of you guys know my story where I had this amazing tech job, paid well, great, like unlimited time off. They were creating a job for me to excel and ladder up and everything. And I was like, I'm having fun over here, but I'm not having the most fun. And I've got to be having fun in my job. I do. Not all the time, but more than I was. And I was doing a good job, but I wasn't doing a great job. And I was liking it, but I wasn't loving it. And I know deep inside of me, there is like a little meter for, okay, I'm not having all the love and all the joy and all the fun and all the happiness. And I used to hear all the time from my ex husband that most people in the world, he always would tell me this, most people don't have that experience. So therefore, you shouldn't plan to either. It was like he would tell me, other people basically was saying, other people are miserable. So you should fall in line and be miserable too. It took me years to undo that because I realized he was just talking about himself. That wasn't me. That wasn't my life. That was him talking. His upbringing, his paradigm, his story. I hope to God he's undone that script. Because that's a miserable life. And he wasn't a happy person. He was a great person, but he wasn't happy. I do not believe for 1 second that it is safe to stay inside of a life that you are unhappy in. I think that's a dangerous thing you will do. And that might be a bold statement, but that is of my opinion. It is a dangerous thing to stay in relationships, in a job, and in a life that you are not happy in. Happiness is your birthright. Happiness is possible. Happiness is something that you can obtain. And it doesn't have to be this big dramatic moves in your life. You can find happiness now by deciding it. And one of the ways you find happiness is to feel progress. Listen to this. Are you listening? One of the ways to find happiness is to find progress. When human beings are challenged and they're doing something new, you've got a recipe for happiness because our brains are wired to pay attention, to feel engaged when there's something novel and there's a challenge. Guess what learning is? It's new information and it's a challenge because you don't know it yet. So by sticking with the same patterns in life every single day, by sticking with the known, it's not novel, it's known. We deteriorate any faculty in our mind that is, I'm interested, I'm engaged. This is what I love. I love life. Life starts to feel dull because your life is dull. It's time to switch it up. It's time to inject some novelty. It's time to inject some challenge. And for those of you out there who are saying, I don't have time, I hear you. Trust me, my life is full as well. I don't use busy. I say full. My life is full as well. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about sleeping in. And to all of those out here listening and watching who are like, I am not a morning person. I used to say that too. But then I realized, wait, who's not a morning person? Where did I learn that story? Who told me that? When did I learn that? What is it I think about getting up early that's such a negative? And the more I pondered that, the more I got curious about that, I realized that people who get up early demonstrate discipline. They also demonstrate they know why they're getting up. Because I have to imagine in my mind, there's a reason y'all are getting up early and not sleeping in. Early people must know something. Early risers must have something inside of them that I don't. And so I actually was very jealous of morning people. They just looked like and felt like they had their shit together. Do you know what I mean? And most of them do. Not all, but most of them do. Most of them are able to go to the gym. Most of them are in good shape. Most of them are able to get in that run. Most of them are achieving a side hustle. Most of them are really accomplished individuals. Benjamin Franklin, early to bed, early to rise, makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. I adapted that a little bit to just be gender neutral, but that's basically what he said. Early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. I believe that 100%. So if you want to be healthier, if you want to be wiser, if you want to live the life of your dreams, why are you sleeping in? Because you getting up with just enough time to roll out of bed, shower, get coffee, get the kids ready, whatever you're doing in the morning, hopping on social media, then getting in the car and driving to work. What life is that? What kind of life is that? You're on everyone else's time. When are you on your time? Because you got to get on you time. If you want to know who you are, you want to know what you're about, you got to get on you time. You got to be about you. You got to be about you, not about other people. You can get to other people after you've done you. First 2 hours in your day should be for you. First two for you. It rhymes to help you with that, right? The first two for you. The first 2 hours in your day should be for you. That's right. Be selfish. Be self-centered. Be about self-care and self-love. That ultimately just makes you a better mom. It makes you a better parent. It makes you a better spouse. It makes you a better lover, a friend, a coworker, colleague, everything. Thinker, creative, artist, everything. Everything stems out of you doing you. So don't tell me you don't want to be selfish. That's selfish to not want to be selfish. Because ultimately, if you're not doing anything for you, you are not showing up as your best self. You are failing on some area of your life. That's selfish because you can do something about it. That's selfish because you can fix that. You got to start doing this. You got to start getting up earlier. You got to start being about you. It's not selfish. It's the right thing to do. It's how you show up bigger for everyone else. It's how you show up bigger for community. It's how you show up as your best self. It's how you get time to practice your health and your wealth and your happiness that you say you so badly want. Show me on your schedule where you're practicing it. Go ahead right now. I dare you. Open up your calendar and show me, because you want to know what's in your calendar? Everything that's important to you. Well, yeah, Kim, dentist is important to me. Taking the kids here. Yeah, calling my mom is important. Yeah, but where's your walk by the lake? Where's your yoga? Where's your meditation? Where's your getting into chapter 2 of that course so that you can learn that skill to get that raise at your job? Where is that podcast? It's going to help you learn about a new skill that's going to unlock and help you work past imposter syndrome so that you can go ahead and show up on stage more and do your craft, or go ahead and raise your hand more in meetings and work through it, or go ahead and apply for that new job, or ask that person out on that date. Where are the things that will move the needle on what's important for you? Why aren't they in your calendar? If it doesn't get in your calendar, it won't get done. Things that matter to you show up in your calendar. That's how we work. That's how the human brain works. Calendars and lists are the hallmark of Homo sapiens sapient consciousness. It's culture, baby. It's culture. If you don't have a to-do list and you don't have a calendar, you're not a part of a culture. That's real. That's real. And it's as simple as that. But you do have to-do lists, right? You do have calendars because you're a part of a culture. You're plugged into a system. Beautiful system. But that system's working you. You got to work it. You got to work the calendar. Life's telling you what to schedule. Do you feel that? Do you feel the shift in that? Life is telling you what you need to schedule and therefore prioritize. But what about you? What do you want? What do you value? You don't even know because you're sleeping in on it. You're sleeping on it. You don't even know because you're sleeping on it. And that's the reason you can't sleep. And that's the reason your sex drive is dropped. And that's the reason you're gaining weight. And that's one of the reasons you have headaches. And that's one of the reasons you feel miserable. And that's one of the reasons you're not being a better parent. That's one of the reasons you're negative and narcissistic and you're turning into that bitchy, gripey person that you never wanted to be. That's one of the reasons you don't pick up your messes in your house. That's one of the reasons you fail to make payments. That's one of the reasons you stop showing up for yourself, because you're not doing you. You haven't found you. You found it and you buried it and you're not willing to go back there. Why? That's selfish. It's so selfish to not be about you. When you're about you, you're on fire. When you're about you, you're a better person. When you're about you, you problem solve. When you're about you, you go out there for that solution. When you're about you, you innovate. You make changes in the world, and the world needs where you want to take us. Yes. Drop an emoji in the chat. Drop an emoji online. Give me some feedback. If that just activated you, then let me know in the comments. This is important work. So what I realized is that my 9 to 5, that was this amazing job, was slowly eroding me. I wasn't Kim, happy Kim who knew who she was. I was tech Kim. I was user information, user experience Kim. I was this other version that life would have me be. And my day was filled with nothing but work. And maybe I went to the gym and maybe I did a couple things, but there was nowhere near the amount of productivity that I wanted to see in my life. But I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what to do. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm going to have to start getting up early. Are you kidding me? I'm not a morning person. That's what the story was. So I told you about, I already did some deep work. So definitely ponder that. If you're someone who says I'm not a morning person, ponder why that is. Start an embodiment practice. Get out of your head, get into your body, start to enliven some energy and get some space on that. That's what I teach you inside of the radical ritual methodology. But you have to move your body. You've got to have an energetic practice. You've got to have a somatic practice you do. I don't care if it's running, yoga, meditation, breath work. Get into your body, get out of your head. The only way you're going to get that, though, is if you schedule it. And for a lot of you, you are busy. Your life is full, but you've got 2 hours in the morning. You've got 30 minutes. You've got 20. Oh, you only got 15? Okay, you got 15. But you've got it. And you know where you're going to get it? Is in the morning. It's setting that alarm a little earlier. What I realized was that every time I slept in or got up at the normal time to get to work just on time, every time I did that, I was inadvertently, unconsciously checking this little box that says, I, Kim Fischer, agree to defer on my dreams and my goals one more day. I, Kim Fischer, next day. I, Kim Fischer, agree to defer on my dreams and my goals today. Again, next day. I, Kim Fischer, agree to defer on my dreams and goals today. I, Kim Fischer, defer. Yeah, no wonder every single year I was the same fucking person that I was the year before. No wonder that nothing really felt like a significant change in my life. And no wonder I was having heart palpitations. And no wonder I was feeling miserable. And no wonder my sex drive dropped and I was gaining weight and I was getting headaches. No wonder my vision decreased. No wonder I wasn't seeing what I really needed to see. My eyes were getting weak. And so I stopped. I got sick of that. I said, no more. What's worse? Getting up early and being a little bit tired for 10, 15 minutes, or going another year, not knowing what I'm really capable of. Some of you are deferring and going year after year, just not knowing what you're really made of. Are you willing to? So let me ask you, are you willing to defer any longer? So I started getting up, instead of at 6, I started getting up at 5. And it was hell at first. So I decided I'm going to make it fun. This is the birth of the radical ritual method. I started rolling out of bed tired because I knew that theta brainwaves are what you're in when you're tired and they're supposed to be your most creative. So I said, all right, well, if I want to discover who I am and what I'm about and be creative and spontaneous, then I'm going to stay sleepy. So I just got up out of bed, rolled out my pajamas, grabbed my earbuds, put them in, played some fun music, and I started dancing around my kitchen at 5 in the morning. I started doing breath work, which awakens your energy levels. And as I sip in coffee, right? I didn't care. Messy bun, bad breath, still in my pajamas. I'm doing it tired. I'm doing it while my mind is screaming, you could be sleeping in. What are you doing to me? What are you trying to do to us? Better us? Don't you dare do that. Don't you dare try to transform. Damn it. This is going to go against all of our paradigms. Now I got to go allocate resources to change up the paradigms. All hands on deck, says the brain. Get ready. This just in, and sending out memos and e-newsletters and holding huddles in break rooms and going, okay, she's changing up things. Get ready. Oh, here she goes again, right? But this time it's going to stick because you know better. You know that you're no longer willing to defer. And so you get up every morning and you have fun. You dance in the kitchen like I did, and you visualize a day, and you don't just visualize it, but you allow yourself to feel it. And that's what I did. I felt the day. I felt how I wanted it to go. I felt new feelings again. I felt that I wanted to be my own self again. I felt the power of who I was and the connections. I started to see myself connecting with people and making them smile and making them laugh and feeling in my body in that very moment in my kitchen, how the impact I would make, how it would feel, and what those people would tell me in the courses I would create, and how they would tell me at the end of the in-person experience, how I've transformed their life, and how they would smile and tell me they're a better mom now. But they would smile and they would tell me, they'd say, thank you, Kim. Thank you for teaching me this. I'm healthier now. Doctor says I've reduced my cholesterol. Doctor says that I can get off my meds now. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for teaching me this. Another person would say to me, you saved my marriage. That's what got me up every day. That's what got me up every day. So I knew I could do that. I know I could do that. I want to do that. And I don't know when it's going to happen, and I'm going to stay unattached to when, but I know it will. And that's what got me out of bed the next day. And then I did it again. And that's what got me out of bed the next day. You see, it's not just about me getting up. It's about me getting up for you. I made it about something larger. I made it about myself, because every single day I was sleeping, and that was about me. That was about small little egotistical Kim, who really wasn't about nothing but herself. That's why you sleep in. but you don't get it. You don't connect the dots. And hopefully you are right now. I'm trying to do that for you. When you get up early, you're going to be a better person. It's never about you. Getting up early, it's the ego that makes you want to sleep in. It's some ego that makes you want to sleep on it. It's the ego. It's the selfishness inside of us that says, I got to change for what? Yeah, for other people. Because you owe it to your kids to be a better parent. You owe it to your significant other to be a better lover. You owe it to your parents to be a better kid. You owe it to people down the street to be a better neighbor. You owe it to society to help pick up trash and do community service and to help build a park and to plant things. And you owe it. You know who else you owe it to? Yourself. You owe it to you. You owe it to you and your soul and your spirit inside of you. That's who you owe it to. So I want you right now to feel this energy. I want you to feel this power, and I want you to declare it right now. I owe it to me. I owe it to me. Because ultimately, when I owe it to me and I take action on that, when I get up early tomorrow morning, and I do a radical ritual with Kim, or I do my own embodiment practice and I visualize it and I feel it, I know I'm going to show up bigger and better for everyone around me. I know I'm going to be the biggest impact in their day. I know I'm going to help release someone's tension. I know that I can be that vehicle for that love and that peace and that compassion into the world. Let me source. Let me be an open vehicle for that. Move through me so that I can move out of the way. So I can move out of the way for more of you to be in this world. That's why I'm getting up early. That's why you're getting up early every day, so that you can let more source come through you, so that you can be more alive and actually be a tool, an instrument in this world to create more good. Yes? Are you with me on that? That's what it's all about, baby. Radical community. I see you. I love you. Thank you for listening.